Hello everybody and guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be ranking the Simple Plan albums. That's right, Simple Plan. So I did add Get Your Heart Is Coming. I know it's technically an EP, not an album, but I figured it's basically a full-fledged album itself, so I added it to it. So we will be ranking these albums based on my own personal preference. Again, y'all can let me know in the comment section below what your preference is, but this is based off of what I think the albums rank. Starting off with the first album they released, No Pads, No Helmet, No Balls. And I think this album ranks pretty high. I think it's probably the best album, per se. Or one of the best. I'm conflicted on which one is the best between this one and Still Not Getting Anywhere. Um, this song has some of my first ever Simple Plan. Hell, it has some of my first ever pop punk songs because Simple Plan was one of my first ever pop punk bands I ever listened to, thanks to What's New Scooby Doo. And how many remember those songs off of What's New Scooby Doo? Especially that one episode um where Simple Plan made a guest appearance. But yeah, this got me into my amazing love for pop punk and punk rock music. But where does it land? S or A? It's between these two. And I think if we think about it really hard here, songs like I'd Do Anything or classics, I'm Just a Kid, Worst Day, Worst Day Ever. Those songs are classics. You will not get rid of them. In fact, we had the whole "I'm Just a Kid" trend. Remember that? One by other songs like "One by One," "One Day." You have these other songs, that are just so good. You don't mean anything. And I think this album really cements itself not just pop culture because of Scooby Doo, but you know even with the "I'm Just a Kid" trend, back in 2020. Was it 2020 or 2021? It was one of those two. But I think this album deserves an S tier. Still Not Getting Anywhere is the next album up on the tier list, and I gotta say, I think it's an S tier. And I'll explain why. This was an evolution of Simple Plan into kind of like what Good Charlotte was, from the first album to second album, more refined, a little bit more mature, alright. But it's just an all-around feel. It's just all around a good album. Songs like "Jump," "Thank You," you know, "Shut Up." Who Everyone remembers "Untitled." The Untitled song is Untitled. You know, how did this happen to me? We all know the memes from Vine that came out of that song. Oh man, this album is still in pop culture, bro. That song's still in pop culture. So I think being an album that's gonna stand the test of time makes these albums an S tier. Songs like "Welcome to My Life" you can listen to over and over again, and they're relatable songs. So "Crazy" is a really good one actually. Especially in today's fucking world. It's a relatable song. You know, those songs. And I just think you you have these songs that are gonna withstand the test of time. It's the album. So I think it's not S tier one. Next up is the third album, the untitled, self-titled album Simple Plan. And this is where I think Simple Plan started to go downhill. This album is At best, average. At worst, it's forgettable. It really is. I can name you a couple songs, like "Time to Say Goodbye," "When I'm Gone." There's one more song that whose name I completely forget right off the top of my head. Um, but you know, you have this album that at the time you know bands were going a more emo direction if you catch my drift. Um, and you have albums like Blink-182's Untitled, and Sum 41's Chuck, you know. You have, I mean, and yet you have Good Charlotte's Chronicles Life and Death. These albums are way better than this one and much more impactful than this one. Songs like What If, The End, Take My Hand, again, Time to Say Goodbye, and, you know, um, When I'm Gone. They're strong songs, but they're not as impactful as, say, Good Charlotte's album was with Chronicles of Life and Death. I Just Want to Live, predictable, you know. Or Blink-182's, I Miss You. Green Day's, American Idiot. Holiday. Boulevard Broken. There's no song off of this album from that screams, hey, I recognize that song, you know. Hey, or even something once Chuck, you have songs like We're All to Blame, Pieces, it, you know, there's, there's a disconnect between those albums and this album. Those albums have memorable songs. This album doesn't really have memorable songs. Again, I don't think it's probably an E or F, but I definitely do not think it's going to be, it's definitely not a contender for some of the strongest songs, you know. So at the end of the day, it's a D because it's just like it's not a bad album. There's like I said, there's some good songs in it, like I mentioned, like these are the good songs off of it, which are Keep My Hands Off My Girl. Sorry, I'm sorry, that's not it. I was saying the Good Charlotte song, but songs like When I'm Gone, What If, Take My Hand, The End, Time to Say Goodbye. These are the best songs off the album, and even then, they're mostly forgettable. And I think when it comes down to it, you know, it doesn't help that these songs are forgettable, and you want to say, hey, when I think of Simple Plan, I don't think of this album, you know, but, you know, whatever. Hey, moving on to the next album, Get Your Heart On. This album is a power pop album. I can't say it's better than the Untitled Subtitled, but it has better songs. Loser of the Year, You Suck at Love, Can't Get My Hands Off You, Last One Standing, This Song Saved My Life, and Freaking Me Out. They the last three I said actually they're kind of slightly above average actually, but the other ones, they're really fun songs to listen to, and I think those hold the album up from being probably an F, but I don't think those songs beat out this Untitled record or self-titled record. So again, I think it's a D, and again, I'm not saying this because I think Power Pop is bad. I'm just saying that this album and its songs, they're kind of forgettable. Like they don't play Loser of the Year or You Suck at Love outside of a melody. You know what I mean? And then the only one they really play, is Can't Keep My Hands Off You, and that's like the opening song of like a concert. That's the song they open with at live shows. So, you know, I can't say that like this album is better than the Untitled because you know actually I might put it above. Yeah, I put it above in the D category. Put it above because this one is more memorable. You know, I mean, and like I said, they play again maybe in the melody. I forget. I think it is in the melody, but they play the song here. I mean, on the melody in live shows. I mean, they play Loser of the Year. Or was it? It's one of the You Suck at Love You, the Loser of the Year. I think they also play. It's one. I think they play the melody, but I think they also. But I think they might play it in the as a song about stuff. But even then, the only song that they play off of the Untitled one is When I'm Gone. This at least has three songs that are played at live shows. I mean, it's much more memorable than say any song off of the Simple Plan record. So yeah, that's my stance on that. Next one up is Get Your Heart on the Second Coming. This one, I like it. It's a good album. Unfortunately, they don't play the live shows, but it's a good album. Songs like The Rest of Us, Out of My System, Ordinary Life, In. These are the best songs off the record. Um, and they hold the album pretty high. And I think it deserves a seat here because I think these songs are really fun. And I really think if the Second Coming was Get Your Heart On, and the Get Your Heart On was the Second Coming, this would have been reversed. I think it really would have been reversed. Because this album has way better songs. I didn't mention Jet Lag or what was it, Paradise, or I mean, in on Get Your Heart On. You know what I mean? But I just those songs were just too forgettable. They didn't sound Simple Plan at all. You know what I mean? At least the title sounded like Simple Plan a little bit. But again, it gets held up because the songs that all on Get Your Heart On. A lot of a good part of them are still good enough and memorable over Simple Plan. But I think this one it holds up, especially just like bonus songs. I guess you could say you know. But it's like okay, this is like more like an EP than it is an album. But I think this should be a full-fledged album. I personally consider it almost a full-fledged album because just because it sounds like a full-fledged album. The songs are there. You know what I mean? And I think it just deserves a seat because I think the songs are better. I think it's a better album than Get Your Heart On is. I think it should have been full-fledged, not just an EP. Um, but yeah, the next one coming up is the second to last recent album. The one that came out in 2016 when all the comeback was happening with Good Charlotte, Blink-182, Green Day. Simple Plan came back. Sum 41 came back. Taking one for the team. This, I think, in retrospective, I really listened to one song of it back in the day when it first came out. But now looking back, I think it deserves at least a B. And I'll say this because songs like Opinion Overload and Nostalgia, they hold this album up. I Refuse to Farewell, like good songs, so slightly above average in my opinion, but songs like Boom are kind of lame, and the second half of the album is kind of lame. Some of those songs are kind of lame. But I think Nostalgia, Farewell, I Refuse, and especially Opinion, they really hold this album up. And if you can look past the songs like Boom on the album, I think you'll have a really good time with this album. Those songs are really good repeat songs, and I think the fact that those are repeat songs goes up. It makes it be a B over all these albums, because these songs in these albums, like Simple Plan, Get Your Heart On, they're good songs. It's just I don't see myself like ever like repeating them, like they come on radio. Yeah, I might on my playlist. Yeah, I might not skip them, but I'll probably skip them. But but I can also skip them too. When nostalgia comes on, when you know Opinion of Willow comes on, I will not skip it. I think they're really great songs, and at least those two songs, Fuse, Farewell, they're decent songs. I guess slightly above average. I'm more inclined not to skip them over any songs on these albums over these albums, but I'm inclined to, if I'm not feeling them, I'll skip them. But compared to like if I was just between those two songs, skipping those two songs, skipping any songs from these albums, and get on, Second Coming, I probably play the Farewell and I Refuse over them. So I think this album gets a B in my opinion. It was a great return to form, a great return to pop punk form. Um, but not the best work compared to these two albums. Now we get to the recent album 2022, Harder Than It Looks. This album, I like it. I really do. It I can't say much about it beside I feel like I wanted more from this album. You get what I mean? The weakest songs of the album, I feel, you know, at least for what I've, have, at least in my opinion, are songs like "Best Day of My Life" and "Wake Me Up When the Nightmare Ends." They're not terribly bad songs. Again, I'm missing a few songs from this album that are more forgettable, you know. But these are the two voices that I know of, But I still listen to them. I still think they're great songs, you know. But songs like "The Antidote," "Ruin My Life," "Congratulations," "Million Pictures of You," that's such a good song. "Slow Motion," and "Two." These are like really good songs that I really did not expect from Simple Plan to be putting out in 2022. I think that compared to other compared to the other albums, I mean, this is Simple Plan at its most mature. I think, you know, um, you know, and I'd say I love the fact that they've grown over the previous albums. I mean, and I think this album really holds up. Now, I have to put this in the A tier. I don't think it's S tier. It's not like these other two albums, because it's not pop cultural. You know what I mean? As like those other two albums. You know what I mean? But I can see myself. But every time these songs come up, like "Million Pictures of You," "Antidote," "Ruin My Life," "Two," "Slow Motion," I don't skip them. I don't. I think they're really great songs. Best thing I might skip. Same with "Wake Me Up When the Nightmare Ends." I'll skip those songs. Like I said, the average songs at best on the album. And I'll skip them every once in a while. Not all the time. Especially "Best Day Ever." I'll skip it once in a while, but the rest of the songs though, like "Antidote," "Ruin My Life," they are so good. I do not skip them, and I have to say it gets an A because I feel because when I listen to get when I listen to Not Getting Anywhere, I listen to you know um not no pads, no helmet, just balls. I think it's a no balls. It's just balls. But when I listen to those albums, I listen to those songs, I feel I'm not left wanting more. I feel that yeah, I got when I listened to albums, I got I got what I came for. I got a full album. You know what I mean? I'm not craving more. You know. But this recent stuff, how it looks, whenever I listen to it, I'm left wanting more from them. Honestly, with this sound, I'm left wanting more from this album. You know, and I don't like having the and I'm not saying it's a bad feeling, that you want more, but I think an album, to me, a good album, an S tier album, delivers everything that you want from the album. And you're not left wanting more from the album. You're not left wanting more songs from the album. You're not left wanting, more from it. You know, and that's how I feel with Holiday Notes. I'm left wanting more from the album, more from Simple Plan. I want more from them after listening to it, because the songs are just so good that I don't feel satisfied with what I got. I want more, and I think that's why it stays in the A tier. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. This is I was gonna say Sum 41. We'll do Sum 41 after they lose Heaven and Hell, and get a good listen to all the songs on that album. But this was Simple Plan's album ranking. Next up is probably gonna be Blink 182. So, yeah, stay tuned for Blink 182, guys. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.